welcome to Freshly Served, the healthy vegan cooking show. I'm Heather, and tonight we're going to make a ginger-miso pasta salad. And what I'm going to use today is some brown rice fusilli. It looks just like regular fusilli, but it's made from brown rice flour instead of wheat flour. So it is gluten-free for those of you who need to be off of gluten, and it's also wheat-free for those who can't eat wheat. Also, it's just plain yummy. I find it a nice alternative to wheat pasta for some of the lighter kinds of sauces that you want to do, because it doesn't taste as heavy. If you've ever noticed when you have whole wheat pasta, it really feels heavy, and it has a fairly heavy kind of taste. Brown rice pasta, on the other hand, very light and not heavy feeling in your digestive system. Brown rice is one of the most easily digested grains, so most people should be fine with it. And for those of you who are worried about, when they say on the ingredients, trace of egg from the manufacturing facility, this, for whatever reason, is one of the brands of pasta I've noticed does not say that at all. It says manufactured in a gluten-free and nut-free factory premise. And, oh, it's actually a Canadian product with quality US-grown brown rice. Anyway, this is called Rhizopia, kind of like the utopia of rice. So I've got some water heating up here with a little bit of, haven't put it in yet, a little bit of salt in the water to help the cooking process of the pasta. And with brown rice pasta, it cooks a little bit differently. It doesn't cook very well at a full boil. If you've ever cooked it before, this or the corn pasta, if you cook them at a full boil, they're going to get really sticky and gooey and fall apart, and they're not very good. Reason being, they don't cook properly at a full boil. What you want to do is put this in just before it gets to the boil. It'll bring the boil down a little bit, and then let it come back up. Add some water to break the boil. Then let it come back up to a boil, add a bit more cold water, break the boil, bring it back down. And just keep doing that until the pasta is actually cooked. And you'll notice that it won't be as sticky, it'll be a little bit firmer like a wheat pasta. So while we get the pasta cooking, we're gonna get our dressing first, and then we'll chop up the vegetables. And what I'm starting with is some ginger that I've grated on my ginger grater. You can see it has teeth, but the teeth don't go through the grater. If I flip it over, you can see it's solid. Reason being, this is the best way to get the juice out of the ginger, because you have this pulp. And if you watch while I squeeze it, the juice comes running out. This is the best way to use ginger raw, and it brings a really intense ginger flavor without a lot of the heat that you normally get with the ginger. So squeeze that all out there. Then we're going to add some miso. Oh, and these graters, I picked this one up for probably about 10 bucks. Really affordable and a great investment because I love the juice from the ginger. So miso looks like this. It is a fermented soybean paste, which really does not sound appetizing, but it tastes really nice. It brings a nice saltiness and a bit of a thicker texture to your sauce because it is a paste. And I usually don't use soy products, but the fermented ones, such as miso, they break down the part of the soybean that we cannot digest. So I do like to use miso. So I've got some brown rice vinegar, some untoasted sesame oil. You can see it's not the dark brown color. I'll put a little bit more so you can see. It's not the dark brown color of the toasted sesame oil, which I'm going to put in next. If you don't have untoasted sesame oil, you could use just olive oil. So there's the toasted sesame oil. And I don't use very much of that one because it's quite strong. Last thing I'm going to add are a little bit of chili to bring a little bit of heat to this pasta salad. And we don't need any salt because the miso has salt in it. Let's see if I can get the bowl on screen. Okay, so that dark color you're seeing in there is the toasted sesame oil. So get this mixed up, and then we're going to chop up our vegetables. And I'm going to do snow peas, red pepper, bean sprouts, and I would normally do green onions, but because I have some really beautiful fresh chives from the garden, that's what I'm going to put in here. So put your veggies into the bowl with the dressing while your pasta cooks. So all of the miso chunks have now been broken up, and you can see I've got a nice, thick, beautiful, slightly brown dressing. So I've got all these nice veggies in the bowl now, hanging out with the dressing. I always give the vegetables first crack at a dressing before adding the grain or the potato or whatever's going in there, because the starch type vegetables really absorb the sauce. And same thing with a grain or a pasta. If you put it in first, it's going to take over all of that beautiful dressing and not leave any for the vegetables. But vegetables, they're kind of generous like that. They take them for themselves, but then when you add the grain, they're going to coat the grain as well. So as this comes up to a boil, I just wanted to show you what happens. It's boiling. It really doesn't take much water to break it, just a little bit, maybe a little bit more. And brown rice pasta does tend to stick, so you want to give it a stir every so often. And it also will leach some of its starches out into the water, so you'll notice that the water is going to get kind of creamy looking, kind of white. That's fine. Just keep doing this until it's cooked, and you'll know it's cooked by taking one out and giving it a taste. Not quite, but getting close. Once your pasta is cooked, drain it, and I like to rinse mine off a little bit, especially when I'm doing a pasta salad. Use a little bit of cool water so that it doesn't heat up the vegetables, and it also gets the extra starch off. Okay, dump it in the bowl, and I like to use the fusilli shape for pasta salad. That's the spirals. Number one, because it reminds me of Kramer making a pasta sculpture for Jerry that he called Fusilli Jerry. Why Fusilli? Because he's silly. Anyway. Also because, especially for pasta salad, those spirals trap the dressing and really just suck it right in there. Get all the deliciousness right around it. So toss it through. And like I said, those vegetables are going to be generous with the sauce that they have on them, and get it all over those noodles. Beautiful. Last finishing touch, I'm going to add some toasted sesame seeds to go with our sesame oils. Toss that through because I'm taking this on a picnic. Otherwise, you could top it as a garnish. And there we are, a gorgeous ginger miso pasta salad, but different flavor for a pasta salad. You can find the recipe at healthyveganrecipes.net. I'm Heather, and this is Freshly Served.